Hello to everyone. Welcome to the Uncertified Opinions Podcast. As you can see from the title, this is the introductory episode of the podcast, so it will be very short in terms of podcast length. This episode is just to introduce the podcast, give some context and expectations you should have of me and the podcast. So, let's get into it. I've had this idea for a while now, and I'm very happy to get it into the works. This is my first ever time doing something like this, so it is a learning experience, and I hope to do my best. This podcast doesn't have a theme per se, it's basically a podcast for my thoughts. Hopefully, I'm interesting enough that you like my thoughts and opinions. I'll basically talk about any and everything, even random things. If a topic comes to mind or if it's suggested, I will be glad to cover it. Firstly, I'd like to say that this podcast is available on YouTube if you're listening on Spotify, and vice versa. If you're listening on YouTube, just search for the name. As I said, I've never done anything like this before, so I won't be perfect, but as time goes on, many things about this podcast will change, like the segments, format, the intro, or maybe even the logo. And feedback would be much appreciated. Well, respectful feedback will be much appreciated. I want to make this as interactive as I can. I also don't want the atmosphere to be too professional, because this isn't a professional podcast, Uncertified Opinions. I'm not a professional anything. I just want this to be a chill podcast where I can give my thoughts, which you can feel free to agree or disagree with. And with that in mind, I may not get everything right. I may say some things that I thought were true and they end up being not true. Although I will try to do as much research as possible before putting something out. And I will always try to be respectful. But at the end of the day, it is just my opinion. The plan is to initially post one episode per month. Hopefully I can stick to that, but I don't really like to box myself into a schedule because, life is unpredictable. Also, in regards to me as a person, I'm not too keen on sharing myself with you guys. And I don't mean that in a condescending way. It's just that at this point in time, I don't need people knowing who I am. Not saying that in the future I won't show my face or tell you my name or where I'm from and stuff like that, but that's not something I want to do right now. I mean, if people start to find out, then so be it, but I'd rather it not be that way for now. I'm speaking as if I'm famous. But anyway, I can be whatever you want me to be. But if you want to refer to me as a name, I guess just call me Uncertified. Just use the podcast name, I guess. As for my pronouns, say whatever you want, because like I said, I'm whatever you want me to be. But remember that even though you are creating this image of me in your head, that is not actually me. So just bear that in mind. One last thing. Like I said, this isn't supposed to be too serious, so don't take me seriously. I'm just here for fun. That's all. See you in the first official episode. I hope that you'll enjoy this podcast. Please spread the word. You can follow me on Instagram at uncertified_opinions and Facebook at Uncertified Opinions, where we can interact more. Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your day or night, wherever you are.